One day, in a village, there lived a boy named Leo. He considered himself useless, spent his days doing nothing, and constantly compared himself to others. Whenever he heard about his childhood friends who had moved to the city and secured high-paying jobs, he felt like his life had no meaning. One day, an old friend of his, Ryan, returned to the village from the city. Ryan now held a high position in a big company. He wore an expensive suit, and his shining watch and shoes reflected his success. Leo saw him and felt a deep sense of jealousy. Ryan smiled and said, "Hey, Leo, we're meeting after so many years. Are you still living in the village?" Leo felt hurt by his words, but he forced a smile and replied, "Yes, you've become a big man now." Ryan talked about his great job, high salary, and luxurious lifestyle before leaving after some time. Leo stood there, lost in thought, feeling worthless. Deeply troubled, Leo went to meet a wise old man in the village and said, "All my friends have moved ahead in life. Some have great jobs, others have gone abroad, and I'm still stuck in the village. Does my life even have any meaning?" The old man smiled and picked up 2 empty containers. He filled one with clean water and the other with dirty, muddy water. Then he asked Leo, "If you had to choose one to drink, which one would you pick?" Without thinking, Leo said, "Obviously, I would choose the clean water." The old man laughed and said, "Exactly. But now, tell me, does that mean the other container has no value?" Leo looked closely. The old man continued, "Son, both these containers are important in their own ways. One holds pure water, which quenches thirst, while the other contains mud, which helps fertilize the fields. Without this mud, crops wouldn't grow." Leo finally understood the lesson. For the first time, he realized that he had been wasting his time comparing himself to others instead of focusing on his own abilities. From that day on, Leo started using new farming techniques in his fields. Over time, his hard work paid off, and within a few years he became the most successful farmer in the village. One day, his old friend Ryan visited him again, but this time, the spark in his eyes was missing. He looked a little tired and sad. Leo, now full of confidence, was dressed neatly and stood with pride. Ryan gave a faint smile and said, "Brother, I heard you've become the best farmer in the village." Leo smiled and replied, "Yes, I have built my identity here." Ryan took a deep breath and said, "To be honest, I used to think my life was the best, but the daily office pressure, the boss's scolding, and the endless hustle have exhausted me. Honestly, your life is much better than mine." Leo recalled the wise old man's words, smiled slightly, and said, "Our lives are different, but the best life is lived by those who don't compare themselves to others. I created my identity here, and you created yours there, but comparison only brings misery." This story teaches us that God has created everyone uniquely. Each person has a special talent, they just need to recognize it. If you keep comparing yourself to others, you will never discover your true identity. Stop comparing yourself to others